The third important event in sexual reproduction is post-fertilization event. It is the event which takes place after the fertilization are called as post-fertilization event. In the fertilization event, we learnt that the zygote is formed. Now, how the zygote is developed, we will understand in the post-fertilization event. Zygote develops into embryo. Here the zygote first develops into embryo. The haploid gametes fuse to form a diploid zygote in all the organisms. In all the organisms, what happens? The haploid gametes will fuse to form a diploid zygote. Haploid means containing single set of chromosomes. It transforms to diploid zygote. In external fertilization, a zygote is formed in an external medium, and in internal fertilization, a zygote is formed inside the individual. Okay, what are external fertilization? External fertilization such as amphibians, aquatic organisms, where it takes place in the water. So the zygote formation takes place outside, outside medium. Whereas in internal fertilization, zygote formation takes place inside the individual, that is internal fertilization. For example, birds, mammals, humans are some of the examples. Okay. The development of zygote depends upon the life cycle of an organism and its surroundings. The development of a zygote, it mainly depends how the life cycle around the surrounding is. Okay. In some organisms, the zygote does not develop immediately and develops a thick wall around itself. Some of the organisms, the zygote does not develop automatically, but it takes time. It develops by a thick wall around itself. This wall is very resistant for the damage, any breakage or any desiccation. It will be helping, it will be opposing it. This wall is resistant to damage and desiccation and environment it is exposed to. Embryogenesis. Embryogenesis is the last topic of this chapter. Okay. Embryogenesis. It is the process of development of the embryo from the zygote. We know that zygote is formed and developed. So in this process we will learn the development of the embryo from the zygote. Okay. This zygote undergoes some of the divisions, differentiations. What are those? The zygote undergoes cell division and differentiation. Cell division increases the number of cells of the embryo, whereas cell division will increase the number of cells of the embryo. Whereas cell differentiation helps the cells undergo modification to form the specialized tissues and organs. Okay, zygote undergoes cell division and cell differentiation. Cell division will help in the increasing the number of cells of the embryo, whereas cell differentiation will help the cells undergo the modifications, to undergo some important modifications to form specialized tissues and organs for the development of the baby. Okay. Animals can be grouped into two categories based on how and where the development of the zygote takes place. Okay. Mainly animals are categorized into two. They are oviparous and viviparous. Okay. These categories are oviparous and viviparous. What is oviparous? Oviparous egg laying organisms are called as oviparous, whereas viviparous are the organisms which give birth to young ones. First we will learn in detail about oviparous. The fertilized egg is covered by calcareous shell and is released into the outside the environment. The fertilized egg, it is covered by mean shell, that is calcareous shell, and it is released to the outside environment. The development takes place inside the egg and the young one hatches out. Example, birds and reptiles. This development takes place inside the egg and development takes place and the young one hatches out, means comes out. Example, birds and reptiles. Oviparous are the organisms that lay eggs, whereas viviparous are the organisms that give birth to young ones. Okay, animals. The development of the zygote takes place inside the female body and the developed young one is delivered outside. The development of the zygote takes place inside the female body, I have told you. Okay, and the developed young one is delivered outside. The young one, see, zygote, development of zygote takes place inside the female body. Later this developing young one will be taken outside the body. For example, mammals, humans. Okay. In flowering plants, zygote is formed inside the ovule. What happens in the flowering plants, angiosperms? The zygote is formed inside the ovule. Zygote first develops into an embryo, ovule develops into seed, ovary develops into fruit containing seeds, disperse and germinate to form the new plants. New plants will be formed.